Don't make me get the riot shields, Jan. If I need to put down a lurker rebellion, I will.
Here I come to save the day.
Hi, Pickles. 137. By the way, Jan, how are you? Jan, I gave you 2 oily points for the 5 gifted subs yesterday that I forgot to mention. So you were at 15. Hi, Amy. Oh, thank you. 8 months. Oh, wait, no. 9 months. Wait. For 8 months, they've been subscribed. Okay, gotcha. It's okay. That was worded really weirdly for me. It is a Twitch baby, but it was like, it says Reap subscribed for 8 months. They've been subscribed for 9 months. No D wiping today because there's no lead. There's no lead. But very much congratulations to us. All right. So, how is everybody? My gloves. My gloves! Not bad. Good. So, we are going to be definitely making more burnt sienna, quinacridone magenta, and Venetian red today. This is ultramarine violet, this is ultramarine blue, and then we're going to be making the bismuth vanadate yellow lemon and quinacridone magenta crimson for sure. I'm doing all right, Jan. Some more complications with the house situation. Son of a bitch! Fucker! Started already. It certainly has. No, so I didn't realize this at the time, but the house that I made a bid on might not have AC. And I noticed it today when I was looking at it, which makes their price even more ridiculous if it doesn't have, or their counteroffer no AC. I can deal with no AC. I mean, we just put it in, but if they're negotiating like that and it's as is and no AC, it's ridiculous. So we'll see. We'll see how it proceeds. I only have 16 ultramarine violets, huh? 20 blues. So, because they gave a bad faith counter offer in my opinion, but only arm stream today. Yep. Let's see. Since Jan was here first, Jan, what color should we start off with first? Burnt sienna, Venetian red, or quinacridone magenta? Which one should we start off with first? Quin Mag? Alright. Sounds good. So I've learned some interesting things, though, about quinacridone magenta and phthalo blue. So last night I did a cost analysis of pigments by weight. How much does a gram of the pigment cost? And some surprising results to that. Oh shit. I might be ignoring YouTube. Go to my channel. I am a math boy, dude. Hey, I'm an engineer, alright? But Quin Magenta and Phthalo Blue are actually some of the most expensive pigments by weight. They're very fluffy. Why can't I go to my YouTube channel? Sorry, YouTube people, if you're there. I'm guessing hi, Umizu. Hi, Marianne. But it literally won't connect me to my YouTube channel. Why is it doing this? You reported me. It's literally, I'm clicking on it, it's just not taking me to the page. This is frustrating. Very weird. Alright, that did it. Weird. I just had to do open a new tab. Hi, Amizu. Hi, Random Oddities. I just had to do open a new tab. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Amizu. Hi, that was Random Odyssey. I have a hi, Claire Jones. I have a thunder track in the background. I can now see YouTube chat, everybody. Hi, Claire Jones. I have a thunder track in the background. I can now see YouTube chat, everybody. Hi, Claire. The echo should be fixed now. Echo should be fixed. Okay. Sorry for the rough start. Off to a bad start. Welcome in, everybody. All right. Yeah, I open my stream in YouTube and me too, Random Oddities, and if I don't turn off the volume, you get that echo. All right. So we're making watercolors again today, and yeah, we got our glass butt plug, we got our medium. We got our trays. How dare JRQ King? JRQ. So we got our empty half pans. And let's get to work We gotta find our pigment. We'll need that today. There's burnt sienna. Burnt sienna. Could make some ivory black today too if we got time. Where the hell is my magenta? It's going alright, Omizu. Oh, you're talking about. Regardless, I am doing well. For anybody who cares. Why can't I find things and stuff? I thought I had more than one of these. Oh, yep, I do. Okay. There's magenta. Okay. All right. So, like with any paints, we got to mask up. We got to mask up, everybody. Quinacridone magenta is a light, airy, dusty pigment. That's why it's so strong. You don't want to breathe in any pigment. We got to put on gloves too. Nope, you mix watercolors like you mix oil paints. My palette, my watercolor palette, King, is designed to be mixed. It's not designed to, and I think it's but I think watercolor companies market, they make a ton of colors, so you think like it's like an oil pastels where you can't mix them. It allows them to basically artificially create colors for you to buy and get that precious money. Okay. All right, let us begin. All right. This one has been started. Goddamn right. Goddamn right, Pickles. All right. We'll go with that amount. Maybe a little more. Okay. All right. Make little pools. So this one is kind of hard to mix. It doesn't like absorb the medium well, especially initially. And I gotta make more watercolor medium tonight because we've gone through a lot. I made a lot of paint yesterday. But you'll see this, like, we'll sit on top of the medium for a bit, and it'll take a second for it to, like, mix into a paste. Hold on one second. I gotta take a phone call. I'm gonna take a phone call on mix. All right, I'm back. Don't worry, I'm back. Stop panicking. Stop panicking. See, this one just doesn't like to mix initially. This one is very pretty, but it's a pain in the butt to mix.
Oh my.
Oh my. Hi, Pickles. Baker Square. Hi, Monique. Yeah, we're making watercolors. So right now we're just hand mixing the pigment with medium. Okay, so the medium is watercolor medium for this. Okay, which is a mixture of water, gum arabic, honey, and vegetable glycerin. I hope you're well, Monique. Thank you for joining me. It does not taste like raspberries, okay? I promise you. Hi, Guri. Welcome in. All right, so we got this mixed up well enough, in my opinion. Now is a relatively safe point to take off your mask. Cherries. Viridian held up well. Maddie, I'll show you what it looks like right now. Well, after we're done with this paint, okay? When we're cleaned up, I'll show you how the Viridian held up after a day of drawing. But it held up fairly well. The yield on it seems like it's going to be very good. All right. So now we take our butt plug. All right. This is frosted right here. And now we mole. Okay. And this disperses the medium around the pigment. Okay. It forces the medium around the particles. We're going to add a bit more. You're welcome, Amy Jo. I'm using an N95 mask. I'm using an N95. Something that is rated for dust. Something that is rated for dust is what you need. The most dangerous thing about paint pigments is generally not actually consuming them, but by breathing them in is what's actually dangerous. Yep. That's where the like where cadmiums get the danger thing is. Cadmiums are not toxic. People think they are, but they're not. But they have a dangerous link when breathing them in. But you can only do that when you're exposed to the dry pigment. This is so fluffy. So thick still. We're gonna do more molding on this. I just wanted to make sure I got it a little bit more wet. Does it keep out farts? Yes. It is a beautiful color, Gory.
Help! Help! I'm being repressed!
Hi, Lost. How you doing, bud? Now, one thing that's a little annoying about this pigment is it's actually different than the, how it is in oil. It really sticks to the side of the molar. You see this? This doesn't happen with every single one. Honey is in the medium, and vegetable glycerin. Jan, vegetable glycerin as well. Honey is necessary. Honey serves two purposes. Honey helps with the re-wetting process. I think vegetable glycerin helps with re-wetting too. And honey also helps prevent mold from forming on the paint. Apparently that can be an issue with watercolors. The antiseptic nature of honey also helps with that. Good to hear Lost traveling. What the fuck? For some reason, I'm not. I'm gonna try something here. Possibly pickles. Who knows? Whoa. Okay. So we got a little bit of a thick bunch of paint here. And I found one of my hairs. That stuck to my glove now. So that's cool. So then we'll start to we'll touch up the existing pans that we got. Oh. Let's get this hair off. This is the regular. This is the regular. You're seeing this camera is making reds more vibrant. It's oversaturated in reds. So it's not as red as this. It is still very vibrant. It's just, it looks more red than it is. I got long hair, Maddie. A single hair just gets, you know, find them on the floor. After showers. Alright, So we're going to touch up these existing pans. And these other ones I need this one. So this is kind of like the I guess the most annoying part about watercolor making like this is filling the pans and then refilling the pans and touching them up because they sink in and you know, sometimes paints require multiple times of just touching them up, at least to make them presentable or make sure there's enough paint in there. So the rest of these are fine, but then we had this one that was. So these ones I'm filling up right now are probably going to have to be touched up at least once. It is interesting. The texture of this one is like, you know, I compared one to like whipped cream the other day. This one is more like a soft butter. It has a little bit more body and like benzimidazolone yellow is like a touch softer. This one, I added a lot of medium to this one. It's a pretty good yield. And it seems like that's the case with like smaller pigment ones. Raspberry butter. That does sound delicious. But I assure you, you don't want to eat this, Maddie. So one thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to push it down to the corners. so it reduces some of the shrinkage. What's the biggest binder for acrylics? It's acrylic. But by weight, I believe it's water, King. Acrylic binder needs water as part of its process. That's why acrylic cannot hold as much pigment as oil. Or watercolor, for that matter. By nature of the medium, it cannot retain as much pigment, like the ratio of pigment to binder. It's here. If you see, like, I have that here. I could take this like whole thing. Here, it just doesn't really come off. You see that? It just really holds firm on these, so I gotta force them down on this one. It's like a Dairy Queen Blizzard, Monique. It's like a Dairy Queen Blizzard. But it's not melting. Now, some pigments, Monique, will be liquidy. And will, like, tapping in will help. On this one, it just won't. Plus, it'll get a little messy if I do. God damn it, Omizu. How many times? How many times, Omizu? We don't eat the paint here, okay? Not once, not ever, shall we ever eat the paint. Yes, exactly, Monique. So this one is like a really fluffy light pigment, but very small particles. Where like burnt umber or like we're gonna see burnt sienna has larger particles, and it will be more liquidy when we do this. It does not, Omizu. More hair. More hair. Okay, somehow got in the paint. No, I think I would need the machine for that, and I just, there's more to it than these, Omizu. So I expect it to be a little bit more of a difficult process for the home painter. and then the amounts you would need to make. Like people, acrylics don't, you're not making like small tubes, and I'm not gonna do like small batches if I'm doing acrylics. So I don't know. I just don't. I unfortunately for people who use acrylics don't have much of a want to make acrylics. The reason why I did watercolors in the first place is because my mom expressed an interest in watercolor painting, and I told her I could make her the paints because I knew how they were made. And it's not far off from oil paints, but acrylic I think is different. Is that working? It is. Thank you, Jan. Yep, that's a new thing that they did. Pastels are more dangerous to make. There's a lot more dust in that process and particulate. So I would personally avoid doing pastels. Also, you need to make a lot more colors for pastels. Right? You're not making single pigment stuff, right? Monique. Right? Pastels, you have to, like, I've seen how they make them. They mix them with, like, titanium white and stuff like that. And you make a set of them. So, like, the amount of storage you need, in addition to equipment, it's just making pastels are not really feasible in a casual manner. Generally. I have not on Mizu. Good. All right, we got a good amount of quinacridone magenta. All right, let's clean up. All right. It doesn't seem that bad. It's just like for pastels, like doing one, sure, Amizu, but like, you know how they sell pastels is they sell them in a set with like brighter and darker values of the same hue. So they'll make sticks mixed with some white, and they'll make sticks mixed with like a darker color to give you a range of like 5 different colors, and that's how you buy pastel colors, right? But the company still has to make all those. So it's like, you also need to take more account on being consistent, right? You have to measure all that shit. It's actually quite a bit of at least initial setup to do pastels. Also, like I said, I would imagine, I think beeswax or resin and mineral oil, Omizu. Soft oil pastels are made with mineral oil because they never truly dry. A party streak. How you doing, Mel? Nice to see you. Did your watercolors come in yet? I hadn't checked your your tracking code recently. Yeah, the tracking on these packages hasn't been great, Stitching, as far as, like, very few times have they been actively up, you know, and maybe that's because I chose a cheaper version for shipping, but at least with some of the shipping, they haven't, like, had any updates outside of the initial, like, getting of the package and when it arrives. God damn it. Don't drop this. Yeah. I've been noticing that as I've been using it. Very few times have they had very great tracking. Yeah. Well, I thought it was just soft oil pastels, and then I think like regular pastels, they're more like the consistency of what we'd consider chalk, like a chalk stick to be. But I'll tell you, if they're the consistency of chalk, that is probably one of the most dangerous mediums to use on a day-in and day-out basis. Outside of spray paint. Spray painting is the single most dangerous thing you could do regularly without dust protection. Well, we'll see, Maddie. You know, we had that issue with the, you know, I mean, we'll get it to you one way or another. But hopefully it'll just show up. Yep. Because, you know, spray paint just uses pigments like everything else, everybody. But they also use dryers like petroleum distillates for dryers. So it's a double whammy of inhalation if you regularly expose yourself to spray paint. All right. Maddie, are you here? Yeah. Maddie! Menace! Yeah, you definitely need a respirator for those. I wanted to show Maddie this. So these were the ones we did a lot of the ones we did yesterday. So you can see, this is the Viridian that we did. And it shrunk a little bit, but we don't see, you know, see there's a crack right there. So some have cracks and it shrunk a little bit as it separated from one of the sides. Right? But overall, they have kept their shape well. But like you'll see like cracks like this on the side. Right? See how it separates from the side a little bit? Please focus. But yeah, so the Viridians actually they shrunk, but not by much. But you can see, like I said, with chromium green hasn't dried nearly as much. But you see the sinks and the... Oh my god! But you see how this one sinks? You see that divot? Right? That chromium green does this a lot. Right? And it's still drying. It's taking longer to dry. So like little divots. The divots happen to the red and the blue as well. Ochre seems to be more of a cracking one. Benzimidazoline, I think, is more of one that develops cracks. Hi, Garg. Maddie, are you here? Maddie! So. And these are the ones we're working on today. Right, other colors. So we just did more of the quinacridone magenta. Yeah, no, it's a pain in the butt. Thank you, Stitch and Gig. She specifically asked to see the Viridian, and now she's not here. Maddie! The goddamn Viridian! You son of a bitch. So the Viridian held up pretty well. Whee! But you see how it shrunk a little bit, and you see how it came off the edge? It shrunk enough that we'd probably fill that in. That little gap, right, that forms. But they held their shape pretty well. They held their shape pretty well. It does look good. It held, like, I was worried that these were going to sink in a ton, and they didn't. Like, these only require little touch-ups. I could sell this as is. Frankly, I don't really have much of an issue selling this as is, because it held its shape so well. So, and this was only half the bag. And we got 22. We got 22 basically sellable ones. It is badly made. So, like, we still have this much. And we probably used a little less than this amount yesterday to make all of these. So, this is actually good value. I'm not going to have to sell these for that expensive. I'll probably sell these for like $4 a piece for the Viridian. If you guys like it enough, I honestly think chromium green is a better color for watercolors in general. But that's a matter of opinion. If everybody's like, no, we like Viridian more, we'll switch to Viridian. So this is the color we're discontinuing. We're only having 11. We only have 11 more of these. This is Mars Crimson. Jesus Christ, Garg! Yeah, I mean, that's what we'll do. If you guys get Viridian, let me know what you think versus the chromium green oxide. And we'll proceed from there. I mean, the palette will evolve over time to like be what people like, what is optimal, what is good for mixing, right? It's, you know, I'm gonna try to avoid just adding colors just for the fuck of it, you know. Hard to get that. No, it's actually a cheap pigment. It's difficult to make Amizu, as in it sinks in a lot, and I generally had to touch those up 2 to 3 times. And it's just a redundant color with the colors that we're about to make. Okay, so the next one we're going to be doing is Blue Ridge Burnt Sienna. Blue Ridge Burnt Sienna. So this one has been tough to make because it sinks in a lot. It cracks as well. So you'll see a lot of these have, I don't know how you can see, but a lot of these have significant divots and there's cracks in these. So this one's kind of a double whammy for issues with making. All right, mask is back on. It's a, you know, it's burnt sienna, so it's like it's a mid-tone orange, slightly desaturated. Not slightly, it is desaturated. It looks more saturated from your end. I'll go this much. Alright, so... Oh, how's that? Did that fuck it up more, Jan, or is it alright? It just hurt a lot. Yeah, I bet. Let's add a little bit more. So you can see how much more liquidy, or how much more fluid this one is. Right, you see how this one like flows around? Right, where the other one just stayed firm. True. True. Yeah, big difference. I'll say, Garg, though, this one is more accurate. This camera is more accurate to the color. Yeah. A little bit more. Very easy to mull, this one. Very easy to mull. Just by feeling, Omizu. Just by my own recognition. I've mulled a lot of paint now. Yes. But Monique, in watercolor, it is not a significant difference at all. It's a very little difference. It's a very low, like, it's much more important in oil paint to hit within a certain range. In watercolor, that range is a lot looser. So making watercolors is a lot more forgiving with regards to that. But for oil, you could definitely have too much oil or too little pigment. That ratio is much more important. But once again, I've made enough of it that I kind of know. I know what is correct. And frankly, this is enough mold. Like, I could mold this more, but I don't need to. See, the reason why, Monique, is because you're saturating this paint, right? Or desaturating this paint or making it more transparent with water anyways, right? So, and this paint will sink in the more medium I put in it, so I'll have to refill them anyways, right? So you're almost always going to get a similar amount of pigment in the half pan or in the pan than whereas in oil, you actually, if you have too much or too little oil, you're going to have other issues outside of just like a transparency issues where the paint won't set up correctly. There is a ratio, an optimal ratio for oil paints. In watercolors, it just really does not seem to be of importance. And see, I think companies, what I think happens with companies, why I think a lot of watercolor paints from companies are such shit, is because you see that I have to, like, these paints will sink in and crack, and they don't want to sell paints that look like that, right? So they use, I'm willing to bet that they use additives that stabilize this stuff, and so it dilutes the amount of pigment in that block in order to make it a more presentable product, versus mine, which, like, I don't care if I send you a crack. If I give you enough paint, you know, you might get a paint with a crack in it, but you're gonna be sure as shit there's the most amount of pigment in there that you'll have in a watercolor. You get what I'm saying? I'm not gonna cheapen this paint by adding shit in there just for appearances. This paint is only about functionality. Only about functionality. Oh. No baking soda. Nope. No oregano. No baking soda. No baking powder. It's clean and pure. All right. So one thing you'll see, look at this. This paint shrunk so much it came out of the so this is how it looks in there, but it shrunk enough that it came off the sides. So the ones on these, I refill the bottom and push it all around, and I'll stick this back in here so that it stays in there, and it pushes it up and secures it in there. See? Now this one is I might touch up a little bit of this color. Lubed it, yep. Like I said, the main goal of my, like, you know, outside of it being, like, full pigment is to make sure you get as minimally as much as a half pan in each. So. So they might look a little bit messy, but who gives a shit if they work? If you want to be clean, don't get into painting, everybody. You want to be clean, do not get into painting. This one's fine. Oh my god! The hell, Jan? Here I was, having a somewhat pleasant day, thinking to myself, you know what, today's gonna be a good day, and then wham! Jan with the murder. Yeah. Well, I try to, you know, like as you saw, Monique, this one, you know, not all these do that. Sometimes they do that. No witnesses. Yeah, and that's not ideal. And I usually fix them when I do find them that happens to, Monique. So, like, if I find one that it's falling out of, I will make more and, you know, fix it before I knowingly send it out. But that doesn't mean that the possibility does remain that, you know, that will happen to mine. See, okay, this one was loose. There you go. So we're gonna fill in the bottom again. This pigment seems to shrink a lot more than others, so I would be willing to bet that it happens most frequently with this burnt sienna. It did happen a lot with burnt umber too. Nope, this one is... See, this one was also loose. And you see there's a big crack in this one, too. So we're going to fill this back up. Make sure there's enough down there. Big crack. Yep. You see that? It could dry like this. This had a sink and a crack, so I really overfilled the bottom of this one, and then we push it through, smooth out the top. Earth colors are definitely more problematic. Have been more problematic with the cracking specifically, and like shrinking like this. So the ones that I see, like I said, I've seen that the most of. Sinking has been most prevalent in all the earth colors, and the cracking and pushing away from the sides has been more with this burnt sienna and burnt umber. But they're useful and cheap colors, right? So it's like the annoying part is I have to put like more labor into it. But they are useful colors that people do like, and they're cheap. So like these ones I'm making now will almost definitely all have to be touched up before I sell them. So I'm not going to overfill them, knowing that I'm going to have to touch them up anyways, and we'll just deal with them as, as is. I bet Rudy does, that fucker. That Gigantify works really well with that emote, Jan. Jesus Christ! That's your painting, Jan. Turned into an emote. That one I'm not so familiar with, but yeah, that was like those are all new. It just makes like your message like highlighty and has like an animation with it. Those you did all the three. They're testing those out. They're fun, and it also means you can get stuff for your bits instead of just donating bits, or I guess at least get an effect. Paid actor. That would be Rudy, Jan. That would be Rudy. You know Rudy's just a false flag. He's just a false flag operation. He's real. Jan, you want to know how Rudy got his name? You want to know how Rudy got his name? You shut your mouth when you talk to me. I'll tell you how Rudy got his name. So, Rudy is Rudy Giuliani. I saw a photo of Rudy Giuliani without his makeup on, and his face was so fucking gaunt. So fucking gaunt. Like, it literally, you could see, like, the skull behind it. And I regret not saving that reference, because it was horrifying. And it stuck with me. This was before I was painting. And then I remembered it, and I tried looking for it for hours. I couldn't find it. And then when I got the skull, I remembered that photo, and that's what I decided to name the skull. Absolutely not. Wink! Wink, wink. Rudy Giuliani is not a automaton right now. Cover it up. I told you, false flag. So yeah, that is how Rudy got his name, Jan. Monique, it will be 3 years in October. 3 years in October. You thought it was a Clash reference? Nope. Yeah, Monique, I started painting October 2021 is when I started painting. Is when I did my first oil painting. All of my knowledge, Monique, was learned after that point. No shit, Jan. Holy shit. That's so interesting. Sorry, everybody. I got to mute. My realtor's calling me. Okay, I'm back, everybody. Sorry about that. Yeah, Jan, it's well, I thought so. They didn't have AC listed. We found out today it didn't have AC listed, but I could have swore it did when we visited it.
Quit playing with your
And
dinghy.
absolutely not, Quotenshoff. But hi, Quoten. Nice to see you. But the realtor confirmed that they did have it. They just didn't put it on the listing for some reason. And then we found out why they're being such shitheads about the counteroffer is that it was Fannie Mae, and by some rules they had to put in a ton of money on it, so they're already losing money on the listing because they put 85 grand and stuff into this house in an area where it's just not, you can't sell houses for that amount, or a house of that size. So well, I can get an inspection, but it won't matter, Jan. They're selling it strictly as is. That's not even a negotiating point for them. So, like, you can't get an inspection before the offer either. I do need to know. I would get an inspection if I was buying the place. Well, the place was in great shape. To their credit, it did look like they put in a lot of work, and like they had a new stove in there. But it's also just like the property's not much that. It does sound sketchy, but it's a Fannie Mae house. It is a Fannie Mae house. So that like, so they bought this place for 80 grand or something, and they put 85,000 in it. Is apparently what happened. It's listed for 145 right now, and it's been on the market for 90 days in great shape. It was a foreclosure, Jan. It was a foreclosure. So it's owned by that huge corporation, Fannie Mae, who put way too much money in it. Yep. And so I made an initial offer of 100K just because, you know, just of all these things going on. They counteroffered with 144. And so then it's like, okay, well, what the fuck's going on? So I recountered with 105, but now they're, I haven't, like, we've been working this out. Then I found the possible AC issue, but apparently the AC is brand new, too. So, I don't know, Mizu. I mean, when we were in there, the shit was not bad. And they actually had, like, they have proof of, like, actual granite counters, and the stove was very nice, too. Yeah, it's an as-is house. It's just like, so, it, as is, yeah, it is risky, Jan. I completely agree with you. But, like, at the price range I'm at, Jan, a lot of these houses have other things like that, you know? Don't you fucker me. So, like, we looked at, there was an update. They do have AC, Amy Jo. They just didn't list it in the listing. So it does have AC, and they told us why it was so expensive, why they're not moving down from their price so much. The foundation looked really good. It was a concrete foundation, no cracks or anything. I don't know about the roof, but I had a previous disclosure saying the roof had been fixed as recently, I think it's 2021. So it's just it's getting weird. It's weird dealing with a government entity, you know? Yeah, maybe. Maybe, completely finished and sealed basement, yeah. Amizu, everything in the house, inside of the house, was immaculate. The only singular thing that I saw was possibly iffy was it has a detached 2-car garage. A huge garage on a concrete slab that had no cracks, but on one of the walls you could see some water damage. I'm going to talk with my parents about it and see. Possibly bodies in the garage. But like it's, the house was impressive on the inside with how clean and like sturdy everything was. Like it was just straight up impressive. Here, I could put the link in Discord if you guys want. Well, I don't want to DDoS myself. Jan, I'm gonna private message you the link to it. There you go, Jan. There's the house. Hey, Joe, how you doing, bud? Don't you come in here like that. We're making watercolors. We're gonna make some Venetian red next. We're making some professional grade watercolors here, Joe. I'm doing well. Doing well. It has been a minute. I'm gonna be moving soon, Joe. We actually have I have an offer on a place right now. By the way, Joe, there was for a second I was thinking about trying to figure out a way to see a place in Rochester, New York. Right now, the offer is a place right on the Illinois-Iowa border in Iowa, called Clinton, Iowa. A pretty nice house for very cheap. But all right, time for some Venetian red. Not a fan of moving to Iowa, but this city was not bad. All right, Venetian red time. No, Joe. Trying to become a painter, yo. A painter. There you go. All right. Oh, and then I'll get on Joe Rogan, right? Hi, Mal. Welcome in. Son of a bitch! Fucker! Isn't it, Jan? It's huge. Pranked. Like, it's a very practical place, Jan. Well, good. Then stick around for a bit, Mal. Glad it helps out. We gotta fix this color. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna be going to, I think, the concert, Joe, for the anniversary. We gotta fix this color somehow. Let's go back to defaults. Let's see. All right. That's more accurate, everybody. I fixed the color. Now this is much more accurate. For some reason, I don't know when I changed the default values, but yep. Yeah, this is Venetian red. This is Venetian red. You certainly are, Maddie. You like guessing what we're seeing now? You talking about, well, this? Well, this, I'm just trying to match it to my eyes. Don't forget, I can see the stream. I look at the stream, what is being shown to you all. And, I think I changed it when I was doing recording for those color mixing videos I was doing, or been doing. They certainly do, Omizu. Those goddamn Venetians. Thank you, Joe. All right, now we pull out our butt plug, right? Our freshly cleaned butt plug, and we mull. This disperses the medium around the pigment to make sure we have a good mix and coverage of the pigment and medium. It's not homogeneous now because the pigment is not dissolving. It's just, we're just trying to wrap the medium around the pigment. Oh my God, Joe. Muller, M-U-L-L-E-R. East of the Mississippi. True. And soon to be west. Yeah, right, Jan? Like you're talking about the house, correct? Yeah, there does, like when we were in there, it was perfect. Because this pigment was discovered. This is just mined from the ground. This is just mined from the ground, like this. And there were deposits of this type of mineral deposit near Venice during the Renaissance. Well, good to know, Jan. Oh, yeah. We'll see, Omizu. I don't think it's right next to one. Oh, Joe. Okay. Joe, if you get this right, you get an oily point, all right? An oily point. All right? Which can be redeemed for things. All right, Joe. Joe, how much do you know about art history? How much do you know about art history, Joe? I'm guessing not a lot. Zero, okay. All right. All right, we'll talk about a paint then. All right, Joe. Titanium white. Titanium white is... Hold on. This pigment is titanium white, okay? It is used in tons of things day to day. It's not just paint, right? But this is used in house paints. This is used in toothpaste. This is used in food grade plastics. It's one of the most widely used pigments in the world. Okay? Titanium white. Joe. Plus or minus plus or minus 20 years. Plus or minus 20 years. What year was this commercially available? Plus or minus 20 years. In what? You get one guess. Plus or minus 20 years. What year was this commercially available? Titanium white. No Googling, obviously. No Googling. You fuckers better not. But I believe by the FDA, they do actually consider the titanium white safe for consumption. I'd have to verify that wording, though. I gave them plus or minus 20 years, though. And there are some inherent hints that I think you can deduce. We'll see what their guess is, and then I'll decide whether to give them another guess or not. Joe, you are correct. Joe, you are correct. There you go. See? One guess was all it took. 1915 by most accounts. Some say 1916. Titanium white was commercially available. Good job, Joe. Joe, you are at 1 oily point. There you go. For anybody who doesn't know, JPRZ is my cousin. Is my cousin who's only like 3 months older than me. It's a good look for you, Joe. It's a good look for you. Much better looking. Joe, I am a canonical dreamboat, all right? I don't know if you'll win this fight. Okay. Good. We got our paint. All these fuckers talk about Joe. All of them talk about eating the paint. Oh wait, I need to read what Jan said. I missed that when I was doing this. Hold on. Now Joe just had a birthday. Oh, interesting, Jan. Okay. Still nothing alarming. Good to know. Thank you for checking that out. Yeah, I've seen 1915 as well, Omizu. So I personally accept 1915 or 1916. By the way, Pickles, the one reason why I didn't give him more than one guess is it's not unnatural to deduce, in my opinion, that titanium is a fairly modern invention or modern use. That's why I didn't give him 2 guesses. Do you notice these points of your viewers somewhere? What do you mean by that, Golden Shop? I can, Amy Joe, I can. It's a great tasting paint. God damn it, Joe. We're not doing a tasting menu. This is not a beer tasting or a wine tasting menu that you get at the Miller factory. We know you love your high lives. Get the ones that are usable as is out of here. touched up. Oh, I have an Excel sheet with that quote and shop. I keep track of it on my computer. Oh, interesting. Okay, good to know, Mizu. I'll remember that. I do remember it was like, I didn't remember how far forward it was, like, because I think they knew that titanium dioxide was usable as a pigment back in the 1800s, but they didn't know how to, make it or produce it. It was similar with zinc. They knew zinc oxide could be a pigment for a long time, but they didn't know how to produce it. No worries, Joe. Yeah, I have a spreadsheet. Yes, yeah, 1821. Yeah, I've seen that before. See, a lot of the issues with the modern pigments is like they knew that it could be made, they just didn't know how to make it, at least within a reasonable amount of cost. Mel, I'm almost positive you already have one. Where are you? Well, I'm not seeing you here. I could have swore you had some. Okay, all right. Quotenshoff. 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 Which pigment was discovered first? Which pigment was discovered first? Prussian blue, cobalt blue, or Sèvres blue? Lead white, Omizu. Lead white was always the white of choice, and then zinc white for the small period of time where titanium white and zinc white, or zinc white was available and titanium white wasn't. But it was all lead white, historically. Sèvres blue. Sevres. So lead white, Omizu, dates back to the Greeks. Well, what is your guess? Your guess is Prussian blue. Is that your final answer? Quotenshoff, is that your final answer? I can't believe you, Quotenshoff, because you are absolutely incorrect. Oh my God, you are wrong. The correct answer was cobalt blue. Cobalt blue was discovered by the Han Dynasty in China 2,000 plus years ago, I believe. Or it was either 800s or BC. It was one of the two. Regardless, much earlier than either. Prussian blue wasn't discovered until the 1700s. Sèvres blue was a red herring. Sèvres blue was a red herring. It is a color of a hue name of a modern company came up with called Sèvres blue. Williamsburg makes it. It's currently a mixture of ultramarine blue, titanium white, and phthalo blue.
And that's a fact.
Random historical paint fact. All right. Well, we'll do a little bit of an overview on early civilization and their paint discoveries, right? So early civilizations, right, started to use pigments. The first ones across the boards who really started to get involved in colors were oh god damn it, sorry, were the Egyptians, the Mayans, the Han Dynasty of China, the Greeks, and the Romans. Egyptians being the first one we have really distinct records of. So the Egyptians were all three of those societies understood that lake pigments could be made, where they could turn dyes into usable pigments. All right. And so, for example, one of the first synthetic purples was a lake pigment made by the Han Dynasty of China called Han Purple. They also had a blue that they did this way. The Mayans created a color with indigo plants called Mayan blue, which they mixed with clay, and it actually proved to be an extremely light-fast pigment, which indigo was historically not light-fast. The Egyptians learned how to refine the minerals more. So the Egyptians mainly painted with egg tempera, meaning that they used eggs as their binder. And a lot of hieroglyphics were painted with egg tempera paints. Okay. They learned how to refine the mine pigments like umbers and ochres, in addition to orpiment, realgar, malachite, ultramarine blue, azurite. There's record of them using all of those. Okay. They also, as a civilization, were the first one to create a synthetic pigment that was not a lake pigment. So I'm not counting lamp black from the cave painting periods, but they invented Egyptian blue, which was they made from a glass smelting issue, they believe. They were able to make a usable blue pigment that was highly valued by the Greeks and Romans. Like they actually discovered Egyptian blue in Pompeii. And there was a famous pigment dealer named Pliny in Rome, I believe it was Rome, and not Egypt, who had records of Egyptian blue and specific properties of it that were actually true. So that's some, like, you know, Egypt really did a lot with, like, basically making usable pigments and cleaning and refining pigments, whereas the Greeks and Romans started to invent new pigments. Specifically, the Greeks invented white lead or lead carbonate based paints, as well as red lead, minium. Also supposedly was invented by them, however named by the Romans, or the Romans renamed it. And verdigris, I believe, was also invented during this time period as well. I have to verify that in verdigris, so don't hold me to that. So yeah, without those, I mean, those were huge advancements because, frankly, in the Middle Ages, there was a lot of suppression of the arts, and there weren't many advancements pigment-wise until the Renaissance. Or at least people started sharing that information on how to make these pigments started in the Renaissance. So information that was largely classified or trade secrets was now being shared. It's part of the reason how the Renaissance got started was the nature of how information was shared. That's the end of your paint fact, Mallory. God bless America. End of paint fact. No refunds. You're welcome. That's what they all say. That's what they all say, Mallory. It's alright, it just takes repetition, Maddie. You don't have to force yourself to remember in one go. But I do repeat a lot of facts here. Or I repeat bits and pieces. So if you get the repetition, you'll start to remember. By the way, Maddie and Amy Jo, I'm making Bismuth Vanadate Yellow today and the other Quinacridone Crimson. I just wanted to make sure I did these ones because these were I was running low on these, so I wanted to prioritize these. And we're probably doing those next after a quick break. Oh my god! 6 VCR! Welcome in, Raiders. We are just filling up some watercolor. Oh my god! Remkosh! Welcome in. VCR, give me some links. This is a robbery. Give me your links now. Hi, 6 VCR.
Get raided.
No, I'm fine. This is paint. We're making paint, 100 Lake. This is the paint color called Venetian Red. Give me those links. I better see some goddamn links from you. What were you working on? Sorry, I'm not familiar. Any links? Instagram. Is it an art stream? Was this an art stream or was this a gaming stream? I don't know. Usually artists share their art links with them. I'm sorry, I don't know what you were streaming. All the links. Oh, fantastic. Good. 6 VCR, is that yours? Those Cuban links. The OnlyFans links. There we go. Good. Good. Holy shit, you got a lot of followers. Perfect. Good. Well, welcome in. Thank you so much. For anybody who knows, I'm normally an oil painter, but I also make my own paints. I make my own oil paintings and watercolors. Today we're making watercolors because I sell these. So if you're a watercolor painter and you want some badly made paints, check out my shop. If you paint with watercolors, you could have your own set of badly made watercolors today. Today. Thank you so much. Yeah, normally I do painting on this stream, though, everybody. Normally we do painting on this stream. There you go. All you have to do is go to that fourth wall. Yeah, it should be. I agree, Maddie. Maddie, would you mind bringing up the the links? In case anybody was interested. If you want professional grade, badly made paints, check out the fourth wall. Check out the fourth wall. And if you want to see my original paintings for sale, check out the Etsy. And the fourth wall also has prints. And just know that you're all stuck here for the rest of the time. All right? 6 VCR doomed you to an eternity of staying in this stream. So make friends, good luck, you know, blah, blah, blah. Watch out for somebody named Greenbag, okay? Watch out for somebody named Greenbag. All right? They're trouble. It was a trap this entire time. What type of game are you making, 6VCR? Venetian Red is done. Oh, sweet. Well, thank you. I'll check out your stream too. That is very kind of you. A horror game? Nice. What kind? I watch a few horror game streamers. And I stream Phasmos sometimes too. I stream Phasmos sometimes. Oh, nice. And I love playing 7 Days to Die and Project Zomboid. Thank you for the follow. Good. You now are officially stuck here forever, 6VCR, so like I said, prepare. The AC's on the fritz too. So good luck. Well, this is an oil painting stream that just somewhat supports the watercolors. If you want to see more of my stuff, check out my Instagram. It's linked below. If you want to see the stuff I paint on stream, I usually do paintings from start to finish here. So a vast majority of the paintings you see there are done in one sitting during a stream. Yep, I paint in a way called alla prima, which means, thank you for the follow, Izamoon, which means, what's it, at once, or all at once, or something? But it's just, I'm painting thick paint into thick paint, instead of doing, like, a technique where you allow paint to dry and, you know, then paint over that or glaze over that. Yeah, paint in a very impressionistic manner. Ramkosh, thank you for the follow. Thank you. Well, so I got plenty more to do. So don't you worry. We're gonna be starting another one momentarily. And I'll even let you choose the color. Izamoon, you can choose the color. You get to choose between two. Okay? I'll show you them momentarily. Once I finish cleaning this up. Oh. Okay. All right. Are you ready, Izamoon? Are you ready for your choices? This is going to be the most important decision of your life. This is the most important decision of your life, okay? Don't mess this up. All right? Your first choice is Bismuth Vanadate Yellow Lemon. Bismuth Vanadate Yellow Lemon. Okay? Or Quinacridone Magenta Crimson. Quinacridone Magenta Crimson. Choose wisely. Choose wisely. Don't make me use the Indiana Jones line on you. Amy Jo, shh. God damn it, Amy. You have chosen poorly. Oh, I got to Indiana Jones somebody. Oh, fantastic. Thousands. Yep. That just killed thousands of people. That pompous ass knight in the Last Crusade. Jesus Christ! Fucker! What have you done, Izamoon? God damn it, cats! Can't you see I'm starting a new color? Okay. Alright, so this is Bismuth.
What the fuck is that?
Vanadate. Yellow. Lemon. Oh. How do you like using fourth wall? I've heard the prints are good, Omizu, from the people that have them. I've checked with them. Okay, there we go. Ooh, look at this. Yeah. Okay. Let's scrape off this. It's not scraping off, really. Okay. Oh my god, Astrolivical! Jesus Christ! Oh my god, this feels different. I wonder. Does it feel different? I don't know. Maybe not. Welcome. Welcome in, Astrolivical. Welcome in. Thank you. We are making watercolors today that we sell. We are making watercolors today that are up for sale on my fourth wall. That's all we're going to do for this. This is a brand new color. Never done them. And now I got a question, though. Thank you. You know we make our oil paints. Usually we also make watercolors, and they are for sale. That is true, Ramkosh. That is true. Oh, awesome. Well, you could just refer your entire... Astrolivical, you could just save the cost and just watch my streams. There you go. Links now, Astro! Give me your links! Or else. So this is watercolor binder. This is made from distilled water, gum arabic, honey, and vegetable glycerin. Okay? And this is just pigment. Alright, so we're just going to mix this up by hand. Like so. There we go. Everybody, go follow Astrolivical or else there's going to be a problem. Or else there's going to be a problem. Need more. There we go. So these are, you don't want to know what that problem is. You don't want to know. Okay. This does feel like lemon yellow, so the guy won't lie to me. Good, Ramkosh, good. Amy, Shasta, Maddie, are you here? You're welcome, Astro. Thank you for rating me. Yeah, all right, here, I'm going to put up the, I'm going to put benzo next to it, okay? Why are you sticking? So see how much more, like, here. See, fuck, shadows. See how it's more red? There's just more red in it. So this is a cleaner yellow. This is a cleaner yellow, like a more pure yellow than the benzimidazoline. So lemon yellow is the most neutral yellow that exists. So it's great for mixing. Right? See that difference? So, I also think the lemon yellow will go farther in your half pans. I suspect that will last longer. Oh, no worries at all, Pickles. No worries at all. We're talking about the color. So this is a very neutral yellow. What that means, Isa, is that it doesn't have red and it doesn't have blue in it. Okay? We call that neutral. A neutral color, right? So like, for example, Isa, how would you describe this color? How would you describe this color, Isa? This is Shasta. How would you describe this color, Isa? The Switzerland of yellow. If you had to describe this color, what would you use? You did, Shasta. I was seeing if you were here earlier. Reddish, right? But wouldn't you say it's like kind of close to purple? Bordeaux? Oh my God! Just Freebird! Jesus Christ! It's a red with a blue, right? So it's not a neutral color, right? You could say it's a purple, but it's closer to red than it is blue, right? So this yellow does not, you can't describe it as anything else but yellow. Oh my God, give me those links. Thank you so much, Astro. Thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely day. Give me your goddamn links, Just Freebird. I swear. Just Freebird, we might have a problem if I don't see some links from you soon. It was regular quinacridone. I haven't done the quinacridone crimson yet, Shasta. We did regular quinacridone earlier, though. Okay. And also, Shasta, the Viridians held up well. The Viridians held up well. They yielded a lot, and they held their shape very well. Here, I could show you the Viridian. Shasta, the Viridians didn't sink in. They seem fairly dried after one day. They did have a little bit of shrinkage, a couple little minor cracks, but it held up surprisingly well. Good. Freebird, I better see those links. All right, so now we take our butt plug. We take our butt plug and we call this molding. This spreads the medium, which was that like liquid you saw me mix with the pigment, and this spreads it around the pigment. And it doubles as a butt plug. Give me those longs, Freebird. Good. So this is what, if you don't do this part, the paint might have dry spots or pigment that is not bound with binder.
Quit playing with your dinghy.
Absolutely not, oh Dia. Welcome in, hi Dia. Okay. No, not as thirsty. And the texture is different, right? This one is more liquidy. You see how it's dripping? Right? Benzo will never drip. So I think it will be a denser, once it dries, it will be denser. So I think whoever uses this will get more usage out of it. Then, yeah, it looks normal. And that's what I expected, Shasta, based upon how it works as an oil paint. Oh. So I expect this one to sink in and shrink up a bit. But I think this color is better than benzimidazzolone yellow. Fuck. Don't you nerd me, cats. Because I have a good feeling about it. I've done enough of this. Cats, watercolor is very forgiving with the molding. I know what test you're talking about. And every time I see them doing it, like, well, I'm just going to do it a little bit more anyway, so it doesn't even seem like a test. Thank you, Just Freebird. Finally. You almost got a demerit. Ooh, lovely. Good work, Freebird. Wonderful work. Wonderful work. And cats, I'm using a much bigger molar than a lot of them are using too, by the way. Yeah, do you have instant... Yeah, give us those Instagram links. Now. Maybe not. Yours is much smaller. Well, Shasta, you're going to have to get bigger hands, all right? We're going to need you to do some manual labor. So maybe we'll start you on an arm wrestling regimen, Shasta. And we'll get you some bigger hands. Hi, Dixie. Welcome in. All right. Just trying to corral it. Okay. All right. Let's start panning this up, huh? That's what a lot of people say, Dangle Dixie. All right, so now we're going to start filling these in. We'll see how much we get out of this. I expect to have to refill this, though. to make it look cleaner. But I can tell you this is a much purer yellow. Than the benzimidazzolone. We'll just see how big of a pain in the balls this is to make, though. Ideally, it just dries like this. Fuck. I just dipped my hand into some goddamn Venetian red. Beans and toast. No worries. Thank you so much for the raid, 6VCR. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Beans and toast. Yeah, you dipped it a little bit in my hand while I was setting down the other paint. Okay. Alright. Back to the pile.
Move this man!
Great timing, phone. Just the spam call. There will always be yelling.
You're a snitch.
I ain't a snitch. You're a snitch. Don't dip your hand in the Venetian red, please. Good.
Help! Help! I'm being repressed!
Are you lost traveling? Build in a bit. Oh my god! Ruble! This is yellow. It's very yellow. This isn't murder yellow. Everybody seems to think. I'm very curious on how this one will dry, though. Very curious on how this one will dry. Pow pow! Pow pow! Well, you sacrificed a lot of lives for this, Izamoon. You sacrificed a lot of lives because yellow is pretty. Good, good. We don't regret our decisions here, regardless of how many people it kills. Sorry, just wiping off my hands. maybe a silly question with a very obvious answer, but why are neutral colors good for mixing? Okay. Not a silly question whatsoever. So, Isa, how familiar are you with color mixing? How familiar are you with color mixing in general? And this is not meant to be condescending. I just want to know your basis of understanding. You know the basics. Okay. So yellow and red make orange, right? Yellow and red make orange. But what happens if the yellow you mix is slightly green? Like, let's say there's just a hint of blue in this. Right? Yellow and blue is green. But let's say this yellow leaned slightly blue, but you'd still consider just the yellow, right? Like the other one was leaned red, right? Or no, let's just say, here's a better example, I should say, sorry. What if this yellow had red in it? What if this yellow had red in it, like here? This is yellow ochre. You see how there's red in there? This is like it's still yellow, you'd call this a yellow, but there's obviously red in there, right? So let's say you want to make a green paint. You want to mix green, right? Well, if I wanted to mix green and I use this as my yellow and I use another blue, right? But there's some red in this. What happens when you mix red and green together? Do you know what happens when you mix red and green together? It neutralizes each other. Complementary colors neutralize each other. So if you mix a perfectly neutral orange and blue together, it will go towards gray or black. Okay? So what happens is you're going to mix a green, and it's going to be a desaturated green because the yellow you had some red in it. Right? So when you can find pigments that are neutral, it makes mixing a lot more straightforward. But frankly, a lot of those colors don't exist. There are very few pigments that are neutral. This is one of the few pigments. There's this and cadmium yellow lemon, which are essentially the same color. Are both neutral yellows. Other neutrals are available, but I haven't verified this. People say cobalt blue is neutral blue. I do not think that is the case, but I have heard people say this. Pyrrole red is a perfectly neutral red in my opinion. Reds are a bit wacky though in this. Basically. But see, cad red is just a pure red. Cadmium red. Now the cad red light is orange. So what you're getting, Maddie, is turquoise, right, is blue with yellow in it. Cad red is, red with yellow in it. So yes, the yellow will neutralize the yellow of both will neutralize the resultant purple of the red and yellow. That's why those colors don't mix well, actually. They don't mix well. That's why that's why I decided to put in cadmium, quinacridone magenta. I think I do recall you saying that, Lost. Yeah, I know Pyrrole red for a fact is very neutral because I color measured it. I have never bothered. Oh, hot damn, Mudworks, you got there too. All right, Mud, you get a point. Mud, you get a point. Damn, you're fast. Mud, you're at 79. From the shadows, Mud hasn't said much this entire stream, if anything at all. Then boom, within seconds, banned a pervert. Oh my God! Who was it? Salt. Welcome in, Salt. Fuck. Announcing yourself with a murder. Is this what? Your bile? Not my bile. This is bismuth vanadate yellow lemon. Did you change your color again? I did change the camera settings for this, so it's less saturated, because it was making Venetian red look like the most saturated color in the world. Oh, Maddie's name color. How many do I got? I got 14 already. This is not a bad yield so far. Shasta, this is not a bad yielding watercolor. But we got to see how it dries. If this sinks in a lot, this might. I have a feeling this will sink in, but there's a chance it doesn't. I have one reason to believe it won't sink in terribly, but that's based on its reaction with oils. Hot damn, Salt. I didn't know you were that big. Jesus. But then, Salt, it's just cleanup. You have to do, like, more cleanup for a machine that does it. Right? So it's like, is it worth it if I have to clean that shit for 20 minutes? Like, disassemble it and clean it? Oh my God! Get wrecked, Salt! Oh my God, Mud. I am a size queen. Canonically, I'm a size queen. That's what they all say, Salt. Canonically, though, I am a size queen. right. All right, so good. We got 3, 6, 11, 17, 18. We got 18 in like a half out of this. Hi, Arts. Welcome in. We'll see how those shrink down. We'll see what type of shrinkage they have to deal with. Oops. Whoopsie! What's that? What if I baby bird? No, we don't eat paint here. We don't eat paint here because we are smart people and not people who just give up to their basic visual instincts. Impressive, Deadpen. Impressive. Good morning. Welcome in. I mean, if I was actually like if I was getting regular orders, yes, I would figure out how to create a hopper or like even design a hopper or buy a paint hopper for this. But the fact of the matter is that, you know, like you said the other day, like I've sold like 15 or 16 sets of watercolors, and I can't. This is not the time to invest in equipment until I physically am not capable of making the amount that's needed. The honey makes it reactivate a lot easier, Arts and Craft. It also has antiseptic, right, properties. It helps kill bacteria or fungus, I think, that can grow mold. That can happen with watercolor paints. Okay. I do need to use the bathroom and make a phone call really quickly. Oh, actually, I'm just going to make a phone call. Sorry, I'm just going to use the bathroom. So we're going to take a quick break. We're just going to take a quick break while I go pee, poop, and cry. So we'll be back momentarily. FaceTime, poop, cry? Exactly, Salt. Exactly. All right, see you momentarily. Be back. Welcome in. We dunking on some youths? Always. Alright. Alright, the color that people have been wanting to see. Quinacridone, magenta, crimson. All done poopsin'. Yep, watercolor. Hi, Frog Squared. Turbo poops. Alright. Got my mask on. Oh yeah, it just comes out like a pancake. Alright. Good times. There you go. This is definitely more red than magenta. Let's see, is any of this... Oh no, that has yellow on it still. Alright, let's just... It is a really pretty color. So I'm cleaning off my spoon. Okay. Good. All right. So, oh, this is a really interesting texture. This is like sand. It's so much different than quinacridone magenta. This is a world of difference. Holy shit. This is like a really fine sand. Interesting. We'll go with this amount for now. I guess we could do a little bit more. Interesting. Not that expensive, Garg. About the same price. I mean, it's expensive, but not the same price. Sorry, it's about the same price as quinacridone magenta. But this one is more dense. No, it seems like fine particles. So, Shasta, I weighed these. I weighed these pigments, and this tub of quinacridone magenta was like 200 grams, and quinacridone magenta crimson was like 290 grams. So this one is much denser than the fluffy regular quinacridone magenta. We could do that. And maybe we'll make black watercolor paint too today. I know some people said they wanted that. Alright, so let's spread it out. I gotta see how much medium I have left though. I mean, if I do another one, I probably should do ultramarine violet though. Oh, I could do the... Alright, I have, I do have titanium buff that we could do too. So it doesn't mix well like regular quinacridone magenta. These quinacridones don't mix very well. Do not eat them. Oh my god! Alright. He aerates. We have a contest. What should be the first question? Let's see. What should the first question be? Buff tits, buff tits. How many, Deadpen? Alright, what's a good question for trivia? Alright. Let's go with... Alright, name me a pigment. Name me a pigment whose color is due to copper. Whose color is due to copper content. Only answer one. Multiple people can get this question right. Viridian is incorrect. Malachite, Pickles is correct. Pickles gets it first. Pickles, 138. There are more. There are more. Emerald, nope. There are several more answers. Azurite is correct. Amy Jo. You're up to 40. You're up to 40, Amy Jo. Pickles, once you get one right, sit out, though, by the way. I'll take your word for that one, Shasta. I don't know that one for a fact, but I'll take your word for it. Verditor. Shasta, I'll give you a point. I'll have to verify that one later, though. 104, Shasta. All right, there are more. Hematite, incorrect. But incorrect. Since you're not taking the trivia seriously, I have to subtract one. Mallory, you're at -1. No.
Quit playing with your dinghy.
Absolutely not. Copper brown, not a pigment name. I'm looking for pigment name. Okay, good to know, Shasta. I know the name, Shasta. I just didn't know the composition of it, so. I do trust you, so. Alright, there are more. I didn't take one away from Mal. I didn't take one away from Mal. I took one away from Maddie. Okay. Alright, mascot. Verdigris is correct! Verdigris is correct! Maddie. 19. You know what? I forgot on this one. Shasta. Shasta, do you know if Egyptian blue is copper based? I didn't think it was, but now I'm doubting myself. Shasta, was Egyptian blue copper? I actually forgot if Egyptian blue is copper or not. No, it very well could be. It very well could be, Isa. I just don't remember. Calcium copy. There you go. Isa Moon, you get an oily point. Isa Moon, you get an oily point. Your first one. There you go. Oh, we're in ads. Is there any more? All right, we're going to go to another question. We're doing another question. After ads. After ads. So I should take this time to think. Feels a bit different, a bit sticky. This is a unique texture, everybody. This is weird. Kind of smells like pickles too. Not like our moderator pickles, like actual pickles, like the vinegar. It has like a vinegar dill smell to it. I'm not going to do that. But can you see how it looks? Like you see, yeah, you see all that grit. I'm seeing that grit in person. Remember, this is a truly unique texture of one I've encountered here. I clarified that it was regular pickles, like actual pickles. Kind of a thick boy, like it's a little thicker. So I have to do another question. And that question is... It's just more. It's more red. So here, wait, let's show you. So now this is dry though. All right, this is quinacridone magenta. Now we'll see how it dries, right? But this just has a bit, a bit more red. This is like alizarin crimson. All right. Pickles, if you mind waiting to answer this one, you can answer it, but just give it a little time. What plant was used to make the dye for the original Indigo Lake pigment that the Europeans used? What was the name of the plant that the original Indigo Lake pigment the Europeans used during the Renaissance? What was the plant that was used for that? Tobacco, nope. It really does smell like pickles, though, Shasta. Hemp? Nope. The name of the pigment was Indigo Lake. Shasta, you may guess. Yep. I'll let you guess. Woad is correct. Oh my god. Holy shit. Pickles, I'll give you a point because I made you sit out and you knew it. Pickles, you're at 139. Shasta, you're at 105. 105. All right, next question. Let's see. I don't know if I'm going to mold this anymore. I don't know if I need to. This is a very grainy texture. Let's see. Let's go with... What company invented quinacridone pigments? What company invented quinacridone pigments? Winsor & Newton? Nope. Trader Joe's? Nope. Badly made. Hi, Sashi. KFC? Nope. General Electric? Nope. Home Depot? Nope. Ford? Nope. DuPont! Mr. Salt is correct! With DuPont. DuPont invented... As far as we know. Did you say, did I miss it? I apologize, Salt. I did miss it. I see. Yep. They did. Senor... Wait. Senor Salt. You are at 8. You are at 8. Oh yeah, no, they're shitheads. But I am glad they invented quinacridone paints. All right. I guess maybe not, because another person would have invented this. But then DuPont would have bought it and got the copyright. Whatever it is. Alright, the patent. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Wait. Miranda, isn't your last name DuPont? Bum, bum, bum. I fucking wish. Oh, no shit. So you kind of are a DuPont. You're a DuPont in spirit. Interesting. Yep. Well, Mud, if you need me to do any corporate espionage for your stake in DuPont, just let me know. I'll honeypot some CEOs. No shit. I always joke with my sisters when they're like dealing with people. I'm like, all right, well, if you need somebody killed and or blown, just let me know. Exactly. That's why I always work kilts, Mudwork, so I'm always ready to basic instinct somebody as needed. I'm always ready to basic instinct when needed. Right, it's basic instinct, right, with Sharon Stone? I'm remembering that correctly. This is transparent, Shasta. This one is transparent, too. It's probably going to be very granular, too. It is tomorrow. She, or somebody misremembered yesterday. I think she might have said something accidentally yesterday that some people remembered. But it's tomorrow. Shasta, this one would be worth a try for you, I think. Ooh, fantastic, Sashi. Everybody's gonna be watercoloring, that's true. Yeah, so Amber did misspeak. It's still fairly fluffy, though. Shasta as well. I mean, nobody has for a long time, Sashi. The last redeem we did was a palette knife one from Garg. I made myself pasta with marinara today. I made homemade marinara. I ate that with basil, garlic, some chili, and put some pecorino on top. It was good. Oh yeah, I still owe probably a couple more trivias, huh? Alright, let's think of another trivia question. I'm sorry, I forgot that was still going on. Let's see, we'll do one more trivia. Okay. In what country is a vast majority of the cobalt mined that is used for painting? Ireland, Armenia. Nope. Congo is correct. Mudworks gets it right. It's Congo. This is an ethical question. Painting companies can say that they get their cobalt ethically, but there is a lot of child/slave labor in how cobalt is gotten for paints. Something to be aware of. Paint companies can say they get it ethically, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that party got it ethically. Something to be aware of in the pigment industry. Yeah, no, Mizo, it's well, because mining cobalt is actually dangerous because they're breathing in dust. You know, they're getting paid almost nothing. It's a pretty terrible thing. Cobalt is, but to give you perspective, though, I believe it's less than like 0.5 or 0.4% of the world's cobalt goes to pigments. Basically, that's kind of what it is, Mr. Salt. Yep, it really is. Yeah. So point being is, it's something to keep track of, and like, you know, it is an argument to not use cobalt-based pigments. Frankly speaking, it is a reason to not use cobalt-based pigments. Who do I owe a point to in mud? 80. Yeah, I've heard about the chocolates too being problematic. All right. Let's go with Oh, I did learn some interesting things about phthalo blue. This is not trivia, but I might become a pervert about phthalo blue because I learned about phthalo blue a little bit yesterday, everybody. Apparently, phthalo blue has a wide... I thought it was almost strictly one hue, but apparently there's phthalo pigments that go greener and redder. And apparently there are neutral viridians as well. Not viridians, neutral phthalos as well. We're talking about for blues. Kramer offered, I think, 5 different versions of Phthalo Blue. And let's just say Jaboy was interested in a few of them. Let's just say that it was surprising. Yeah, I saw them, but apparently different companies use different phthalo versions of the phthalo blue. So, for example, and I've never seen pigment numbers like this, but Williamsburg uses it's PB15 semicolon 3, but then there's semicolon 4, and there's number 16, and then there's lighter and darker versions of multiple of those. It would probably be heat related. Usually it's heat related, Mud. So, for example, for some lead processing, like the Naples is purely the temperature that they go to. So that would be my best guess. PG stuff. So it's the only problem is phthalo blue is a pain in the balls to make. It's probably the most difficult oil paint to make. So I don't know if I'd do that until I had a machine. I hope I'll be able to tell the difference between this and quinacridone magenta once they're dry. I can tell the difference of them now, though. These are much more like a deeper red instead of the like. There's much less blue by appearances right now. Yeah, Golden owns Williamsburg. Have a good one, Isa. Nice to meet you. Thanks for hanging out. Have a wonderful night, Isa. Yeah, no, I will, Mud. I'm gonna put them, but sometimes they just like, you know, sometimes they get a little mixed up. You may not believe this, but I don't have the best organization of my stock of watercolors, as in I keep them on trays. But the thing is, what if I like forget which pan that they're on and I can't tell the difference between them, and then yes, just the baking sheet as of right now. You may not believe it, but it is the world's most complicated sorting system that works. Oh, that would be a mess right now. I would have had to have already done that, or I'd have to do it on the dry ones. I don't know. I'll be able to remember it for a little bit. We'll see how long that charade lasts, though. Yeah, that's a good idea. I actually don't think these ones will shrink a lot, huh? And I'm gonna have to swatch these. I have a new idea how to swatch them to make it more better for everybody. And yes, I know I just said more better. Silly goose. But we got this. This yields really well. This yields really well. So that's good, everybody. It won't be. Frankly, this and the Viridian will probably only be like $4. It really depends on how many pass-throughs I have to go. I could see the bismuth lemon yellow, though, being a little bit more expensive. Yep. We gotta let them dry, though, and we gotta see how much they shrink down. But, I have... As of right now, it'll probably be bismuth vanadate will probably be around $4.50 for one. Probably $4.50-ish. And Viridian will probably be $4. And, this quinacridone will probably be about $4 as well. By my pastor? You mean Satan? No, Satan doesn't have to. Satan doesn't have to approve this. Oh, gotcha. Pat, what I meant is, Pat, how many times do I have to, like, go back and put more and fill up little cracks and voids and shrinkage? So, like, on, for example, like, burnt sienna, I usually have to refill them. I usually have to refill them once or twice. Badly El Pastor. Badly El Caliente. Wait, Pastor Caliente. The hot pasture. The fiery pasture. We don't study the Bible here. It's called the Book of Badly. It's kind of like Don Quixote, where you're following around kind of a maniac. Narcissist, sociopath. Alright. I mean, this is how this shit's gonna look. Do you see this? This is like really like... It's like a vibrant pink. You seeing this shit, everybody? Look at this. This color is sweet. It's almost like a neon. Exactly, Shasta. This is cool. Cool color. Definitely goes more into pink. Definitely goes more into pink. But we'll see how it swatches as well. And it looks like it's going to be a strong pigment. It looks like it's strong. Like quinacridone magenta is an extremely strong pigment. This one seems to be very strong too. Yeah, exactly, Mud. Well, crimson is traditionally not a warm red. It is a cold red. So crimson, like a true, I would say crimson, as it was like originally described, is like a bluish, I mean, it's a red that leans blue, right? But it is a vibrant mid-tone red, traditionally. Obviously not enough. You haven't seen my poos, McMarty. You have not seen my poos. Alright. We got one more color left to do, everybody, today. Maybe we'll take a poll. Who wants to see titanium buff or ivory black? Titanium buff or ivory black for the final color of today. And maybe for the next drop, because I can't guarantee the other one will make the drop. Well, it might have to anyway, so I can make them if people want them. You love buff? Okay. I see one for buff. Alright, two for buff. Oh my god, three for buff? Old testimonial, yeah. Well, it doesn't look like we're doing ivory black. Buff titanium, or titanium buff, which is an unrefined titanium white that can be used from watercolors that I bought because it's cheap, but I never made it because it's never going to be a part of my set. But I might, you know, if I make it, it's going to be sold on its own. Buff tits, all right. We do it for Melizzy. Why are we bringing up Lizzie? It's what Lizzie would want. Just making sure that there's not a lot of quinacridone magenta. Alright. I think we're clean enough. Alright. Let's find our titanium buff. Yeah, as of right now, yes. As of right now. I have one person that requested ivory black, but I don't know if that's enough to justify it. Yet. I mean, I'll probably do it eventually because I have the pigment. But I don't know if ivory black, I'm going to do ivory black before the next, like, drop, essentially. Where are you? Thought you were in here. There you are. Phthalo blue pigment, everybody, by the way. I need to get more of these already. Alright, let's get our mask on. I don't know what you mean there, McMarty. I'm too much paint on nipples. See, this just doesn't seem like a useful watercolor color. Oh my god, Mono, what's up, buddy? How you doing? How have you been?
Badly.
Amy Jo. Is that enough? Should we do more? Let's do a smidge more, actually. Good. Oh, nice. How'd it go? I know Shasta likes it. I just, I can't get behind the use of this. Good. That's great to hear, Mono. It's just that, Mud. I want to see... I don't want to do it all at once because I don't know if it will shrink down, Mud. So, like, if this shrinks down a ton and I don't have any less left, then I have to wait to order more. And so then just storing it is a pain in the balls. So I'll never do a full batch with watercolors because they shrink, because they crack, and I want the paints to be somewhat presentable. Or I want to make sure that you're getting, you know, enough paint for what you paid for. I've tried this paint out at oils. It just kind of wasn't needed. I was excited for it. I thought I figured something out when I first... I thought this was going to be a very useful paint for oils, but then I realized it isn't needed when you have titanium white and a yellow. What about... You know, I can think of one interesting use for this in watercolors, but I can think of one. It's not wise? Good to know. That titanium shredded. Tubular, bro. What about the... Alright. Let's mold this. Let's mold it like it owes us money. Well, so Amy Jo, this is why that doesn't make sense to me, is because you could just dilute your paint more and use the white of the paper to make those pastels, right? That's my contention with it. A little crackly. Yeah. But see, like, you know, Amy Jo, but then you'd have to have a bunch, then you'll have a bunch of the pastel regardless, right? So it's either just like, you know, I don't know. That's my opinion. I'm not telling you how to paint. That's just my philosophy with regards to, you know, painting. On tinted paper, it makes more sense to me, Shasta. I think that is a valid point. That is a valid point on tinted paper. Does look like pizza dough a bit. Okay. We've molded that enough. Ugh. Okay, good. My string beanie arms and sunken chest. Somebody understood that reference, I'd be so happy. Okay. Let's wrangle this paint up. That looks like a rat. I do see the rat. I see the rat. Dang old Dixie. But it does look like pancake batter. Oh yeah, this is titanium buff. This is unrefined titanium white. To make titanium white, it goes through a refinement process that you know, makes it that really bright cold white. So this is it before a certain process happens to it. Ratatouille. Now I mean, because it's opaque, Shasta, it will desaturate every color because it's not a saturated color, right? So, but it will hit the purple and ultramarine blue the hardest with desaturating the color, because this is orange. This is an orange color. So, like, you know, you can desaturate a color by adding the same hue, but a desaturated version of that hue, right? So if I'm making an orange, I don't need blue to desaturate it. I could theoretically use burnt umber, because burnt umber isn't as saturated, right? Burnt umber has some amount of blue in it, because it's not a perfect orange. Right? But it's not just like a pure blue that can be tough to control. It is more strong than that is true. It is also a bluish purple, so you're probably right, Shasta. It will probably not work it. Like, I would just recommend, well, those are transparent too, so on those ones I really recommend trying to use the paper at all times if you're using white paper. Yeah, it should work well with them. You right. mean, that could be interesting. You can get some interesting outcomes with that. We need a few more of these. Will 6 be enough? We'll see. Originally, I made them for my mom. My mom expressed some interest in getting watercolors and doing watercolors, and I explained to her where to get like good watercolors, and I told her I could also make some for her, because then I said I could also make some for myself since I didn't like the watercolors I had for the watercolor streams, and then I just offered to sell them, and that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Okay. Let's transfer these over. Decent yield on one note to not use chromium green oxide is it's one of the worst yielding ones. Same with the cobalt turquoise. They are not great yields. Now, chromium green oxide is super cheap as a pigment, so the low yield is not a big deal. It just makes it annoying to make. So these will probably hit the shop, everybody, somewhere around Saturday. Okay? Somewhere around Saturday is probably when I'm going to put them on the shop. I also think I'm going to lower the shipping cost. I'm going to take the risk because I think I'm pretty sure I'll be set up with a pirate ship. So any international buyers, the shipping should be $10. Okay? 10 US is what I expect it to be. Okay? That's what I'm going to set it on fourth wall. So you can use the money that you didn't spend on shipping on more paints. On more paints. However, there might be an extra day of lead time as far as when I ship them because I have to print them off at my parents' home. Because I don't have a printer. What do you mean? Like, are there pigments that I don't want to make again, you're saying? Ideally, I'm only going to offer the pigments in my set. So, like, for example, I don't have any need for ivory black anymore. I just really don't. And so, like, I don't want to order more of that pigment, even if it's for watercolor. Because it's not a part of my set. Yeah. So, like, you know... Point being is we're not going to have two greens. It's either going to be Viridian or chromium green oxide in the set, right? So the reason why I did Viridian in the first place is because I had extra pigment. However, it was easy to make and it had a good yield. And I think the color is really great. But, like, there's no need to do both. Yeah, if you're in love with it, buy as much as you can. But I will listen... to people if, like, hey, we really like Viridian. And then I'll just put Viridian in the set. And I'll put the rest of the chromium green oxide paint I have as a, you know, a limited edition sale. Right. Now, like, so point being is my goal is to have 12 colors in a set. And only offer those 12 colors. But I'll probably buy pigments on accident again, or like get accidental pigment. Like, for example, if I see a color that I don't oil paint with, but I see it's like a pigment that's a really good price, I might just buy that and make it into a watercolor. You get what I'm saying? Like, I do look at, like, pigment costs. That's how I accidentally ended up with the quinacridone magenta crimson. But yeah. Exactly. Or if there's enough demand, I'd put it in the set itself. You get what I'm saying? So, like, if people just love Viridian, well, all right, so here. We have quinacridone magenta crimson in the bottom left here. We have bismuth vanadate yellow lemon, which I want to be a part of the set. This is only ever going to be a limited run. This is only going to be a limited run. This I want to be a part of the set instead of the benzimidazoline. So that switch might happen. And I don't know about the titanium buff. Because that'd be only being made for watercolor. Well, but frankly, I'm doing that with Venetian red and burnt sienna already. So it's not like in like ultramarine violet. So I'm already doing that. But then I would add this to the set. I mean, I could replace Mars Crimson with this, even though I don't want to. So, by the way, now that we have regular light, this was the Viridian on top and Cad Red light on bottom. So the top is Viridian. News. So. All right. So what we made that. Yeah, we cleaned up these two and the quinacridone magenta. We did 6 colors today. 6. Yeah, we got a lot of Viridian though. So Amy Jo, we got a good amount of Viridian, so should not be. I'm pretty sure we'll have plenty because these are all Viridians right here. And they're holding up well through drying. There's some cracks, a little bit of shrinkage, but they're holding their bulk pretty well. Victoria Nadgenter. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine, Shasta. Hi, Victoria. No, that's perfectly fine. You could do more than that, frankly, at the moment. I would say the one I'd have to be careful with about amounts would be Viridian, just because, you know, that is kind of like, that would take some time to get more. But and it really depends. You know, I'm probably going to make another batch of lemon yellow very soon because I have a feeling those are going to shrink a bit. But anywho. All right, let's find somebody to raid. Sorry, Victoria. You did not... unfortunately, you caught us right as we were finishing making the watercolors. I blame Greenbag. But there are VODs if you're interested in making your own watercolors. You would. Alright. Who shall we raid? Did Wheeler go really late today? He's not raiding me, is he? Okay, good. Good. Thought this was late for maybe. Did he start an hour later? Casey Snow. Touch of Chaos. Chaz. Dr. Diggity Dank. Maybe Dr. Diggity Dank. What is it, Shasta? No worries, Victoria. Who you suggest, Shasta? Oh, wait, June's on. June's on. Sorry, I might override this for June. Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna raid June. Don't forget to pillage. Alright? This stream needs resources. Alright, everybody. Thank you so much. We're probably not streaming tomorrow. Nini. Probably not streaming tomorrow. See ya! And I hope everybody has a good night. Greenbag, I will see you in hell. And thank you for everybody hanging out. I'll keep you all updated on when the stuff is hitting fourth wall and stuff, okay? Toodaloo! You're welcome, Shasta. All right, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye, Mal. Have a good night, Amizu.